Hello, everyone, and welcome to All You Can Eat. It is the podcast about deliciousness. I'm your host, Rob Rosenthal, back after an extended hiatus, but I am really super glad to be back and sharing with you all. Thank you for coming to the podcast. Today's podcast, after a long time off, is going to be a series of recommendations about things, obviously, that I find delicious, things that everyone should have, I think, in their kitchen, in their refrigerator, in their pantry, because today's recommendations are all flavorings and seasonings and condiments and foods that really make it easy to add an intensity, a breadth of of flavor profiles, of interest, of excitement to to whatever it is that you're cooking, and so as a guy that makes recommendations basically for a living, I thought I'd come back to you today with recommendations on products that I really find special and I recommend. And then again, I will remind you in full disclosure, find any of these that you like. I get zero for it. Nobody is paying me or encouraging me or promoting me. These are just things that I am telling you that are worth having. I'm going to provide them to you in actually no particular order. That's just really an organizational thing, but stuff that I find exciting. And I want to start with peanuts. And the reason I start with peanuts is, number one, because I'm looking at them, and number two, because I do love them. I've done podcasts before on just nuts in general, best, favorite, different, etc., etc., etc. In today's recommendation, though, it's because I had come across something that I had never seen before in the peanut family, and I do love a peanut, and I mean the peanuts that are kind of like come in a tin can. I mean, you can get yourself some planters or whatever it is. I don't dry roasted are fine. That's not the ones I'm talking about. I'm talking about those little crispy, lovely, not the dry roasted kind. Those the other kind of peanuts. I came across anyway something called Szechuan pepper peanuts, made by, I believe, a company called 50 Hertz, Hertz. Szechuan pepper peanuts. And the thing that makes these so unique is, of course, that they are spiced up with Szechuan peppers, which are famous for putting a little tingle on your tongue. No exaggeration, no nonsense, no nothing. Szechuan peppercorns have the capacity to give you a little tingle, a little numb sensation on the tongue. And trust me when I tell you, it's just not... It's fantastic. It really is what it is. I've had Asian food before that's made with a ton of Szechuan peppercorns. And it's a superb flavor, but also it's numbing on the tongue. Now, eventually, obviously, that numbness goes away, usually by the third or fourth bite or however long it takes. But the Szechuan pepper peanuts are kind of like peanuts in general are addictive, but these are super addictive, and they are... I'm just smelling the Szechuan peppercorns in the can that they come in. But check these out. I can have them straight. They're certainly good with a cocktail. But I'll tell you when else they come in handy. Anytime you want to stir fry, any kind of Asian cooking that you're doing, and I'm going to tell you in a couple of moments about some condiment that I love when I do a very simple stir fry of vegetables or whatever you want to do. But these are a great topping for any type of Asian food that you do. And you know that. You go to a Chinese restaurant, for example, and sometimes they'll serve you a sautéed dish with peanuts in it. I always like that. Anyway, Szechuan pepper peanuts, brought to you by a company called 50 Hertz, Hertz. Look these up. Get your hands on them. If you like a little spicy, a little tingly interest in a peanut, these are for you. Now, speaking of peanuts, I would be remiss not to mention my very favorite peanut and peanut company. It's called Hubs, Hubs, out of Virginia. I find that the Virginia peanuts are giant and extraordinarily good, and they do a wonderful job, Hubs does. Let me see if I have their website somewhere very close by. Yeah, here we go. Hubs. Hubspeanuts.com you're going to want to go to, and you will find that they have every type of peanut product, from salted to unsalted to peanut brittle, chocolate covered. Hubs peanuts are fantastic, and I've had a number of their products, and I find them to be really some of the best, maybe the best that there is. Check out Hubs if you like peanuts, because I'm telling you something, man. Hubs really is doing the job on the peanuts. Really great, large, crunchy, super delicious product. At some point, I got my hands on some peanut butter that Hubs had done in collaboration with another company. I am not certain at this point that it was the best crunchy peanut butter I'd ever had. I'm not sure that it's still totally available to you, but you can go on to a website called BigSpoonRoasters.com, BigSpoonRoasters.com, and find yourself some very, very interesting, what is called nut butters. So maybe you like almond butter, cashew butter, etc., etc., other nut butters that are flavored. Oh, wait, here's the one, actually, that I'm looking for. It's the Big Spoon Crunchy Peanut Butter. I thought that was outstanding. But you take a look at some of these flavors. They're fantastic. Chocolate, sea salt, almond butter, Fiji ginger almond butter, maple cinnamon, peanut and pecan butter. I mean, this is some serious stuff right there. So if you're the kind of person that likes a good peanut butter, go on to BigSpoonRoasters.com. And you will find these. Now, I will remind you at this very moment that oftentimes, and I need to update it, I include many of my favorite products and services and recommendations on my website. It's the very first thing on my site. And my site you can find at realrobrosenthal.com. And you'll see under recommendations, I'll have all the stuff that I like. And I will make every effort to include some of the ones that I'm going to mention to you today. So we start off with peanuts. We start off with peanut butter. And now I'm going to move into some of my favorite condiments and sauces. And I did mention the kind of Asian stir fry. And the thing about the Asian stir fry is that I do it a lot. I do it a lot because it's not complicated. You get a whole bunch of your favorite vegetables, and you're going to chop them up. And I would say from a flavor perspective, it would be great to have some garlic. It would be great to have some scallion. It would be great to have some fresh ginger if you could, because those go beautiful in a stir fry. And then you got to say, well, how am I going to kind of add some other flavor to this? Does it require any kind of soy sauce or any kind of sesame oil? And those are super good ingredients to have, and perhaps all that you need. But I am here to tell you about a few. Let me press another button and see. Oh, yeah, there's my homepage. I'm here to tell you about a few other products that I find simply perfect for the Asian stir fry. Perfect in the sense that they bring just an enormous level of flavor. And the first one I'm going to tell you about is a sauce. It's called Japanese barbecue sauce. The company is called Bachan's, BACHAN''S, Bachan's. The thing about Bachan's is right now I'm finding it in my local supermarket. I do believe also that I have seen Bachan's in Costco, where I go with some regularity because I am the Costco ho. If you can get your hands on Bachan's Japanese barbecue sauce, you are going to want to do that. Again, right on my website if you want to see more about it at realrobrosenthal.com. And the beauty of bachans basically boils down to this. If you're making a stir fry and you want to bring some flavor to your sauteed vegetables or chicken or shrimp or whatever you decide to put in there, you just give it a shot of this bachan's Japanese barbecue sauce, and you're good to go. But that's not all. The beauty of the bachans is that while you could use it while you are preparing your stir fry, right? There's hot veg, there's some oil, everything is being, tossed around. I like broccoli, I like, some celery. If you're doing Asian food, bok choy, string beans, bean sprouts. These are all beautiful things to have in a stir fry. If you want to have chicken and have shrimp, those also go as well. But the beauty of the bachans is not only that you can add it in to complete that stir fry, but you can also use it before you get into the stir fry. So you're marinating, for example, pieces of chicken, or you're marinating a little bit of shrimp. And you can marinate those things with this bachan sauce. Fantastic, right? And here's the best part of it. We talk about multi-purpose. If you didn't use it before, if you didn't use it during, the other beauty of the bachans is that you can use it as a dipping sauce. So, for example, if I am making frozen egg rolls, or I were making dumplings, or anything else that I wanted to dip into something with an Asian flair, I would immediately use bachans. So it's a great product in that it has all of those purposes for you. You could use it marinade, you could use it as the sauce in your stir fry, and you could use it afterwards to dip in Asian products. Now, we're on Asian products, and I will tell you about the next one for which I have an addiction, and it's called Spicy Chili Crisp. You've seen perhaps many of these products around. Oftentimes, if you go to an Asian restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, on the table, you'll see some version of something that's intensely red and has chopped up pieces of something in it, usually peppers, maybe some garlic. Spicy Chili Crisp, to me, while there are multiple brands, I am a purist in this regard. I am looking at the bottle. Laoganma. Laoganma. Now, I would go right to Amazon, as an example, look up Spicy Chili Crisp, and come to Laoganma. And you'll know you're at Laoganma not only because it says Laoganma, but because you will see a picture of an Asian man right on the label, wearing a white kind of vest or a cooking apron, and mostly a whole lot of Chinese letters. Spicy Chili Crisp is exactly what it says. It is spicy, it is chili peppers, and they have been made crisp. So how to use it? I use it everywhere all the time. If in answer to your question, I'm addicted to it. So, for example, in any kind of stir fry, I throw in a tablespoon of Spicy Chili Crisp. In any kind of dip, like the one we were just talking about, if I wanted to dip some dumplings or some tempura shrimp or whatever, Spicy Chili Crisp. I actually will take the Japanese barbecue sauce, the bachans. I will put in a tablespoon of Spicy Chili Crisp, and I have a fantastic dipping sauce. Get your hands, folks, on Spicy Chili Crisp. You will go through it. I even use it on, I know this sounds nutty, but when I make, obviously if you had rice or any kind of thing like that, it's an instant flavor impact. I use it when I make oatmeal, and the reason why is because I have kind of converted over to oatmeal as a savory dish, meaning that I flavor my oatmeal in the same way that I might flavor a polenta or a risotto, which is to say I make it savory. And one of the ways that I could make oatmeal super savory is by dropping in Laoganma, Spicy Chili Crisp. Love. So there's another recommendation for you. I'm going to see if that's on. No. There's a spicy on my. I noticed on my own. I'm just kind of scrolling through my own homepage here for my recommendations, and I can see that I put a spicy. Best spicy chili crisp. There it is. It's right there on my homepage. There's two of them, but you'll see the one that I'm referring to because you can see the little kind of label. That will show you not only the Japanese characters but the Japanese chef there or the Chinese chef. I'm sorry, on the label. Spicy chili crisp, and then finally, not finally. I'm coming to another Asian flavor that I use all the time. This one, however, is Korean, and I would say the thing to know is that I love Korean food. It's become increasingly more popular over the years. It is high impact flavor, oftentimes made kind of barbecue at the table, a lot of noodle dishes. But I will say that if you, you're probably familiar with kimchi, the fermented vegetables. Kimchi, the fermented vegetables, are made with a dry red pepper powder called goshugaru. And goshugaru is made of the same root as what I'm going to tell you about, which is the gochujang. Gochu, probably Chang, or sometimes you'll see it spelled with a Jang. Gochujang is the Korean condiment that is made with a soy. There is a fermentation process. It's made with the red pepper, goshugaru. It is both spicy as well as sweet, and that's what makes gochujang special. That it has the combination of a little bit of sweetness from the fermentation process that they use to make it. It has the spiciness from the red chilies, and it has what we have come to know as umami, which is like this an intense savory flavor. Now, when you get your gochujang, and you're going to be able to find it, obviously you can find all these things online, but you can find this in almost any supermarket that has the Asian aisle. You'll find gochujang. It's the stuff that comes in those plastic kind of rectangular containers. There's 10 brands. You'll also find with the gochujang that you can get it spicy, you can get it mild, you can get it in various themes. However you get it, get your hands on gochujang. What a beautiful flavor. And because you have the mixture of the sweet and the spicy, that kind of does tone down. The sweetness tones down the spiciness a bit. How to use? Again, in stir fries, in marinades. The thing about the gochujang, because it's a red pepper paste, is that you do need to combine it with some liquid to use it, for example, whether it's in your stir fry or for a marinade. And what's the liquid that you're going to use? I mean, soy sauce is certainly one of the most obvious ones. But you want to break it up a little bit, liquefy it a little bit, because it is a thick paste. Gochujang it makes anything that you are making kind of, Asian, Korean flavored. Fantastic. I mean, simple, right? Because if all you were going to do was cook up some noodles, or as the Koreans do in their cooking, rice noodles, fantastic. All you would really have to add to it, and I do this a lot, is some gochujang. And maybe a little soy, maybe a little touch of sugar if you want to, again, tone down the spiciness and bring a little bit of extra sweetness to it. Maybe some soy sauce, maybe some sesame oil, maybe some chicken stock, maybe some vegetable stock. But the point is, this stuff will turn noodles into magic. I had it last night. I went to a place and took out last night a bowl of udon noodles in broth. It was lovely, but it needed flavor. I just put in a whole, a teaspoon or two of the gochujang. And again, you could do the same thing with the spicy chili crisp. You could do the same thing with the Japanese barbecue sauce. These are all beautiful flavors and additions to food, for which you really only need one other ingredient. And that is my style. If you know any of the work that I've done, I've written a book. The book is called Short Order Dad, One Guy's Guide to Making Food Fun and Hassle-Free. And the premise behind the book is, how to get the most taste with the fewest ingredients and the least effort. So if I can do 2-ingredient dishes, I've accomplished something, as long as it's like intensely flavored. And a lot of flavor, most taste, fewest ingredients, least effort. So if I can get some noodles, throw in some, peas or something else that I like, and then add one of these flavors to it, I'm good. Let me give you one more sauce that does not fall into the Asian family like the others do, and it's called Lingams. So Lingams is a hot sauce, Lingham apostrophe S. I don't know where and when I first came across Lingams, but I would have to say this, that if I had to choose one hot sauce to live with for the rest of my life, it's going to be Lingham's. And the reason for that is because Lingham's, again, kind of like the gochujang, does something interesting. It moderates or ameliorates to some extent, minimizes the heat factor by bringing a little sweetness to it. So what you get is that combination of, that's spicy, but it's not as spicy as it would be if it didn't have the sweet element. I love Lingham's. Let me see if I have that on my page here. I have gochujang, I see that. I have some chili crunch. I have some peanuts on that page, and I do not have the Lingham's. But if you can find it, and you can find it, I know because I've ordered some recently. Lingham apostrophe S. Lingham's hot sauce is beautiful. Use it any way that you would use a hot sauce. But again, the thing that makes it different and special in this case is that you're getting the little bit of sweet with the heat. Sweet heat, as they like to say. Now, remember that I had said I'm not going in any particular order. So I'm going to move on to 3 beverages right now. Maybe even 4, because I'm looking at my own website and I can see watermelon shandy, which I haven't seen for a long time. I'm not even sure where to get it, but there is a company that makes beer. It's called Narragansett, which means it's probably in Rhode Island. Anyway, they used to do, I don't know that you can even still get it, a watermelon shandy, which is really good. Shandy is like the combination of beer with lemonade. This one was watermelon flavored. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I don't even know if it exists anymore. But damn, that was a beautiful product. I was eating at a restaurant recently, and I didn't want to have necessarily a cocktail or a wine. So I discover that they are serving the ale. What do you call that stuff? What they make out of cider, like an adult, like a cider, but it's an adult cider because it has been distilled to become a beverage that has an alcohol content to it. So I like a decent cider. Generally, they're going to be made, most often, I suppose, from apples, but there's a whole lot of other ciders that they're making with different fruits and whatever. Anyway, I'm at this place and they have this pineapple cider, and with alcohol. Maybe 4 or 5%, kind of like a beer level of alcohol in the cider. And I decide to try that with my meal. And let me tell you something, man. Wow! I am like, where did this come from? I never saw anything like it, never tasted anything like it. I like the taste of pineapple. It tasted like pineapple soda, but it was pineapple soda with a hit of, booze, if you will. The brand is called Ace. Very simple. Look up Ace, pineapple, cider, extraordinary. Where do I get it? I actually am able to go into an operation called Total Wine. I guess they call it Total Wine and Spirits. Total Wine is a pretty big operation in the sense that I've seen it here on the East Coast. I've seen it in California. If you're familiar, you know that Total Wine is magic. It's kind of like the Costco of wine and spirits. But that's where I found Ace pineapple cider that I could bring home, and I brought home as much as I could carry. This stuff is just delicious, refreshing, and of course it has a hit of alcohol to it, as if it were kind of a beer. Then, and also in the beverage category, I'm here to recommend to you a brand of ginger ale, believe it or not. Ginger ale. Now, I don't drink a ton of ginger ale, but I got to say that I like a little bourbon. And one of the easiest things to do in the world is take a little bourbon and put a little drop of ginger ale in it. And you've got yourself a lovely cocktail. I don't know what they call it, but it doesn't matter to me. I was turned on to bourbon and ginger, but not just any ginger ale, Blenheim, Blenheim. One of these companies down there somewhere in the Carolinas or that kind of place that's been making ginger ale for a very long time out of ginger. And the thing about making ginger ale out of ginger is that they have a blend that's spicy. And it's spicy because of the ginger. The ginger makes it spicy. So when you go to Blenheim, Blenheim, and you have the option of getting the regular fine or the spicy, go with the spicy. Put some bourbon in a glass. Put a couple of cubes in the glass. Give it a shot of Blenheim's. My goodness, this tasted to me when I had it like a vanilla soda on LSD. Wow. This ginger ale is the best that you can get. To be honest, you don't see it in a lot of places. You can get it. It may be super expensive to have it delivered. I was once lucky enough to discover it, carried by some bar in New York when I was there, so I picked up some there. I've also had it ordered, and, it's expensive to ship it, but I'll tell you something. If you want to have the best ginger ale that there is, you're going to go to Blenheim, and I would say get the spicy and put that in your bourbon and feel good about life because, whoa, that's good. Yummy good. Really good. And I'm going to throw a third beverage at you, which I discovered. Again, you discover things oftentimes by accident, yeah? I was in some exotic island in the British West Indies or French West Indies. The island is the island of Mystique, and the refrigerators were filled with a local product called Ting, Ting. Now, I'm lucky because I am coming to you from Miami, Florida. And my supermarket carries Ting because it is a product of the Caribbean, or the Caribbean, whichever is the correct way to pronounce that. Ting is a grapefruit soda. And the reason that it's brilliant is because you only need a little bit that you will use as an accompaniment to pretty much any booze that you like. Vodka is neutral, so vodka with a splash of Ting, nothing wrong with that. Ting is a Caribbean, grapefruit soda, so, rum and Ting, hello. The Mexicans make a drink called a paloma, which is essentially tequila with a grapefruit kind of soda. Well, you know what? Tequila and Ting. And when we were mixing booze with Ting down in Mystique, we just called it Ting with a sting. Gorgeous soda, very sweet. You're not going to have a whole lot of it. You're not going to have a whole lot of it straight up. But as an accompaniment to any kind of alcohol, it really fantastic. Now I want to move into a completely different category here, and it's the category of salsa, because I find myself addicted, to chips and salsa. Like if there were a 12-step program for chips and salsa, hello, my name is Rob. If I see chips and I see salsa, I'm good to go. The thing about salsa is that, generally speaking, you have it in a kind of a Mexican restaurant. I'm a big believer in kind of making anything that you can versus buying it in the bottle. I never had any salsa that I purchased anywhere that was worth purchasing. Whether it came in a bottle or whether it came supposedly fresh in some plastic container in the in the prepared food aisle. I would always rather make my own. And to make your own salsa, you're going to need some ripe tomatoes, and you need some jalapeno, you need some cilantro, you're going to need some lime juice, you're going to want some red onion, and like I said, jalapeno or serrano pepper. Not hard to make, but you got to have the right ingredients, and you have to have patience. And was working for me until I discovered Mateos, Mateos. Again, fairly wide distribution, although I don't see Mateos at my Costco down in Florida. They were selling it in New York, and all I'm going to tell you is it's the only bottled salsa that I will ever buy. It's the best one you can get. I think it is delicious because it has a beautiful hit of cumin that you taste right off the bat. Also, kind of an addictive, in a really kind of an addictive taste. That Mateos salsa is fantastic. You could look them up because if you go to Mateos, I'm sure that it's going to be Mateos.com. Let me see if I put them on my site here. And the answer is, I don't actually see. Oh, there's Mateos. So Mateos Gourmet Salsa, you can also find on my realrobrosenthal.com. It comes in media. It comes in hot and spicy. If you go to their site, I'm sure they'll tell you where you might be able to get your hands on it. But this stuff is really delicious for salsa. And let's see what else is good. We've done peanuts. We've talked about peanut butter. We've talked about beverages, condiments coming out from the whether they be Asian, hot sauce from the Lingams, that kind of thing. I'm going to give you one more today on today's. Actually, two. Let me see if I can find the other one. It's that Keto Crunch that I've been getting. There are two things I want to tell you about. Random, totally random. I am in love with the Keto Crunch that they're selling, that I get over at the Costco. Keto, from like the keto diet. I'm not on the keto diet. I don't care about really gluten or wheat, but I need a little crunch periodically. Not that I'm a big cereal eater, but if I have yogurt, I like to have it with a crunch. And the best crunch that I've discovered is this Keto Crunch that they're selling over at Costco now. It's got blueberries, it's got some kind of seeds, it's got some kind of nuts, it's got dried coconut in it. Really a fantastic mix. It's got everything in it but wheat and gluten. I mean, it's kind of genius and really great. I mean, it's great solo. So if you're a cereal eater, you have some of this. Maybe you toss in your favorite fruits, your blueberries, raspberries, whatever it is that you like in there. I like it with the yogurt. Just a lovely Keto Crunch cereal that I've been getting over there at Costco. And then finally, and this is completely rando, and I don't know where to tell you to get it, but I know that you can because I did. And it is called Duck Fat Spray. Now, I know what you're thinking. No, I don't know what you're thinking. Just duck fat spray sounds so weird, doesn't it? But if you ever go into a kind of a restaurant and you notice that they're serving duck fat fries, you go, I think I'll have those. And why is that? Because apparently if you fry potatoes in duck fat, they're great. I mean, they have more taste than when you fry them in a kind of a neutral, even a peanut oil. Duck fat fries are delicious. So imagine that you don't have duck fat at home and you don't have a vat of duck fat available to do frying. But what if you could get duck fat coming out of a spray can in the same way that you get canola oil or olive oil that you could spray when you're going to do some cooking? Well, it exists, and it's called duck fat spray, and I love it. I love it because a little spray of this stuff in the saute pan before you saute whatever it is that you saute really makes simple, delicious food duck fat spray. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sorry that I was away for as long as I was, but I'm back. I'm coming back. I have a couple of programs coming up. We're going to have some interviews coming up as we've done before. If you want to see, not see because we do this on audio, but if you want to hear any of the past shows, some of which, by the way, feature a very impressive, I think, roster of people that I have interviewed. Everybody from the chef Andrew Zimmern, the restaurateur Danny Meyer. I've had Gail Simmons, who you might know from the Top Chef program. I've had the editor-in-chief of Wine Spectator magazine to talk about wine. I've had some great guests. Anyway, what you do is you go to iHeartRadio, and I guess you look up either All You Can Eat or you look up Rob Rosenthal, and there you may find, 140 of these shows that we've done. You can also do that same thing on Spotify. Look up All You Can Eat, and you will see the inventory, the archive, if you will, of all the shows, including not only the ones where I've conducted interviews with interesting people, but the ones that I've done like today that are solo, but on certain subjects. Like, for example, if you're planning on traveling to Paris, France, or you're going to Spain. I've done plenty of podcasts on those places as well. So All You Can Eat available to you on iHeartRadio. All You Can Eat available to you on Spotify and wherever else people listen to podcasts. RealRobRosenthal.com will take you to the place where you can find all of my recommendations and some of the other things that I might have done, and also a link into Short Order Dad, my cookbook, most taste, fewest ingredients, least effort. Not only 100 recipes that probably use 5-6 ingredients or less, most of them, 95% of them, I would say, but also what you can get in that book is all the things that I learned in cooking school. I always like to say I went to cooking school so that you don't have to. So I'll teach you how to do things like braise and saute and roast. That's in that book as well. Super present if you know anybody that could use a little hand in the kitchen, whether they're an aspiring cook or they just want to improve their flavor. Short Order Dad certainly would be a highly effective book for them. And that is a reminder also that while I don't have the website address in front of me, I do teach generally each month a cooking class. I've got the next one coming up in a couple of weeks on the subject, speaking of technique, of braising. So what you would do if you wanted to learn about braising live and online is you would go to 92 Street Y. It's the 92nd Street Y in New York offers a series, like a lot, of online classes, and you should be able to look up adult continuing education classes in food and cooking and find me, and I'd be really super pleased to have you register and join for any one of the classes that I have. The next one, as I said, on the subject of braising. So there you have it. Rob Rosenthal with you here, recommending products that will bring deliciousness to your food and to your life. Until next time, remember this, my friends, life is short, so never waste a meal.